ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परब्रह्मनिष्ठं स्वतो धर्मनिष्ठम् अहिंसैकनिष्ठं स्वशिष्यैः सुजुष्टं यतीनां वरिष्ठं गुरूणां गरिष्ठं दयानन्दरूपं मदाचार्यमीडे। At the outset, I would like to say that I am not very good at talking to people whom I have not met previously and whom I may not meet later. I am more comfortable with handling a text rather than doing a talk like this. So, or if I have to do a talk like this, I generally ask somebody, tell the audience to ask me a question, and based on that I proceed. So I have taken a talk, I just discussed one or two topics with Jaykumarji, and he suggested something, a topic which has, I can go on that topic for 7 days also, but so in 1 hour I have to try to finish what it is. So that is Karma Yoga I have taken today for talking. So a few aspects of it I will cover. There are different ways of looking at it, but the talk will not be complete because there will be a lot of things which may raise questions in your mind. Also certain things I cannot address in 1 hour. See, when we look at ourselves, when we analyze our life, we seem to be all the time busy doing something or the other. Okay? So all the time we seem to be invoking in ourselves a karta. So I always doing something, busy with this, busy with that, busy with something or the other. So all the time as a doer, so I invoke in myself a karta. Now what for are we working constantly? So are we doing things just in order to assert ourselves that I am a doer? Is it just for the sake of action that we are doing karma? If you ask a question, no, nobody wants to do karma for the sake of doing karma, but for the sake of enjoying something, for the sake of enjoying the result, for getting the result and enjoying that result. That is why we work so hard. So that means I invoke in myself a karta in order to be a bhokta. Now, in our life we have a long list of things to be achieved, to be gained. So which we can call by the name sadhya. So many things to be achieved. I have to achieve this, I have to achieve that, I have to achieve that, etc. And each addition in the list in its own way brings side things also that I want to achieve. Okay. So all the time there are desires for achieving so many things. So we seem to be a bundle of desires for achieving so many things. Okay. And therefore sadhyas, what is to be achieved by us, is ananta, it is endless. Because our desires also is there for so many things. Okay. Now merely having a desire to gain something, to achieve something is not enough. I have to know what I should do in order to gain that result. So what is the means which will make me gain what I want? That means I must have the knowledge of what is the means for gaining what I want. And automatically once I come to know what is the means for gaining, then naturally I have to work. So that when I have come to know what is the means, naturally it involves some action on my part. So what type of action I have to know, and then I must follow the actions, because mere desire will not make me achieve what I want. So I have to work for what exactly I want to achieve. So for each thing that I want to achieve, again the sadhanas are many. So sadhyas are many, and sadhanas for each of them are many. That's what Bhagavan says in the Gita, Bahushaka Kyantaha. Okay, so the buddhi is caught up with so many things to be achieved and so many means for it. Okay, is it always a desire to gain something? If we analyze and see, it is not necessarily always a desire only to gain something. So I have a desire to gain something, and that something I should have assessed it as something that will give me joy, something that will give me pleasure, something that will make me comfortable. I have a desire only to achieve those things. And having achieved them, I have a desire to keep it with me. So what's the use of getting something and immediately I am going to lose it? Nobody is interested in gaining something that you are going to lose shortly. So I would like to retain what I have. And not only that, sometimes we have certain things which I feel will give me sorrow, will make me uncomfortable. So I have a desire to keep those things away from me. So whatever I judge as something that will give me sukha, I want to achieve them. And whatever I consider that it will give me sukha, I want not only to achieve them, I want to retain them. Whatever I consider that it will give me dukkha, I want to avoid at any cost. So I want to do something or the other to avoid, so that it doesn't come to me. Supposing it has already come to me, then what do? Then I do something in order to get rid of it. So the whole time we are all the time acting upon a desire to gain something which will make me happy. I have a desire to retain certain things which will make me happy. I have a desire to avoid things which will make me unhappy. I have a desire to get rid of things which are already with me in order to be happy. For all these desires, I have to act upon them. So, in other words, putting in another way, I have to do actions in order to get sukha and retain the sukha. I have to do actions in order to avoid dukkha or get rid of the dukkha that is already there. Now, the moment I have become a karta, okay, the idea is so that I'll be a bhokta later. Is it a clear-cut division then? No. Whatever, as I am doing something and then I thought I have already gained something and I can start enjoying, if I have to retain it, again I have to keep acting upon it. So on one side I am a bhokta, again I become a karta. So like this it keeps on going as a cycle, karta, bhokta, etc. So thus one karma itself brings on one side a bhoga, on the other side a karma in its own way. I am using a lot of Sanskrit words. I think everybody is familiar with all these words. No?
Yes, Swami. Yes, Swami.
Okay. No, somebody put a hand to say yes or no. Okay.
Yes,
right.
Yes, in thumbs up, Swami.
Okay, fine. So, now this is what I see myself doing. Okay. Now, not only that, I find that this karma that I keep doing, on one side, even though I get bhoga from whatever karma I am doing, in and through all these things, it is not just for that sukha, prapti or dukkha nivritti. Based on this, I also have a judgment of myself. I build up an image about myself. So in whatever I am trying to achieve, okay, if I manage to achieve what I want, then that action is a success. If I have not managed to achieve what I want, you can say that action is a failure. But we don't say that action is a success or action is a failure. I am a success or I am a failure. So the whole thing is, it is not just the action and the result. The doing and the gaining is making me judge myself all the time. And not only that, I feel that this is what I am and this is what others think about me. So if I have managed to get something, I feel others think I am a success. So whether they think or not, we don't know. But we sort of think that that is what they think about me. So in my own eyes, I want to see myself a success, and I want to see myself a success through the eyes of other people also. So the whole thing is, an action that we did, any action can get the result what you want, may not get the result of what you want, but then we don't just say, okay, this action has not managed to get what I wanted through that result, full stop. This action has managed to get what I want, full stop. We don't put a full stop there. The whole thing is loaded on myself, and all the time I judge myself as a success or a failure. So this is how our life keeps on going. So I just thought I will take 2 shlokas from Upadesha Sara for a basis. So in the Upadesha Sara, in the second shloka, have you done Upadesha Sara, Jayakamaji?
No, I have not done so.
Okay.
I have not done.
So when talking about karma, Bhagavan Ramana says, karma is kriti mahodadau patana karanam. Okay. So it is something that seems to make you fall in one endless circle. Okay. So kriti here means karma or meaning samsara. So we fall into this huge ocean of samsara because we take ourselves as karta bhokta and judge ourselves on the basis of the achievement of the results. The very action is taken up because we have got so many desires. The desire itself, we can put it in the form of, we have got raga, likes for certain things, dvesha for certain other things. And the raga, dvesha only I reduce to saying that what I have raga for what I consider as that it will give me sukha. So I want to gain, I want to retain that. And things which will give me dukkha, I have got dvesha, I don't like that. So I want at any cost to avoid what I don't like and to get rid of what I don't like. Finally, again the raga dvesha goes and lands up in a desire. Okay. Now, so this goes on, and Panchadeshikara Vidyaranya says in one place, Kurvate karma bhogaya karma kartum cha bhunjate. So this person works in order to earn, worked in order to earn something, in order to buy and enjoy. Now to maintain what he bought, maintain that house, maintain the gadgets, maintain the car, maintain various things, again the person has to work, again the person has to earn, again the person has to see that the annual maintenance is kept going, etc. Every now and then call somebody to keep maintaining all these things. So this goes on as an endless circle out of which we are not able to come out. So a sukhi, the person who enjoys some sukha, he wants more and more sukha, and wants to retain the sukha at any cost. The person who wants to get rid of dukkha, again, wants the sukha somehow, again he works for that dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti and worries all the time. So putting in a different language also, we are working all the time for yoga and kshema. Unfortunately, whatever we want to get, so in whatever way we want to fulfill our desires, may not always be legitimate, may not always be keeping in with dharma. The more intense our desire, and the more it looks impossible to gain what I want by fair means, I am ready to cut corners and take to some foul means also. So in the process, what will happen? The actions that we do can be papa karma, can be punya karma. Okay. Sorry, let me put it that way. It can be punya karma, and sometimes it can also be papa karma. Now so there are two types of results for all the karmas. One is an immediate result that we get. The other is, depending upon whether we have followed dharma, we have transgressed dharma in order to get what we want, we are going to get an adrishta result called papa or punya. And that adrishta result called papa or punya is going to stand in our account. And the Shastra says, it calls our karma pala as avashyam bhavi. There is no way of escaping our karma pala. So if we cannot go through all our karma pala in this janma, Shastra says, you will have to take janmas in order to go through your karma pala. So some karma pala you can go through in this, some papa punya you can go through in this janma. Still it accumulates there in a bundle. Some of them you may exhaust in the next janma. Sometimes it takes hundreds of janmas also to exhaust. So always there is something added on to that bundle, there is something exhausted from the bundle. So it keeps on going. And if there is karma pala standing in my account, which I have to go through, I have to naturally, and I can't go through them in this body, then I have to go through it. I have to take another body in order to go through it. And therefore again I have to take janma. And in that janma, it is not as if only to exhaust my karma that I am taking janma. In that janma also, I will do further karma. And again, I keep accumulating. So this bundle keeps on one side something is taken out, on the other side the bundle goes on. So again, we get into this thing. In order to go through karma pala, there is janma, and in that other janma also, because our previous karma, this is a very important point we have to bear in mind. Each of our karmas not only has one pala, it also leaves a vasana, a sort of tendency to repeat that karma in us. So it leaves the tendency in us that we feel like repeating that karma. And therefore, the next janma again those tendencies are going to come, so we are going to do karma. Also we have likes for certain things, therefore again we do karma. So in the process, the bundle is getting filled up on one side, getting emptied on the other side. So janma, kama, karma, karma pala, janma, kama, karma, karma pala. This is the kriti mahodadi. So you think you have come out, the wave has pushed you up, you breathe, then you go down. So this way we keep on going. So we get tossed up and down in this big ocean. So it binds us. See, even in life also we are like gamblers. So in a gambler, when he has won something, that means he feels, I have to prove that I am capable of winning, and keeps on gambling. And a person who has lost, I must somehow make good this loss that I have done, and then keep gambling. Same way here also, I have to prove myself a success, I have to prove I am not a failure. If I have got a success one time, I have to prove myself continuously that I am a success. If I fail once, I have to prove myself again somehow by getting success in other things. Which Swamiji always used to say, why don't we look at it that action was a failure or action was a success? Why do we take, throw the whole thing on us? We build our image based on this. So this is how it keeps us perpetually in bondage. So what is bondage? So we feel that we are dependent on something and we are not able to give up that dependence. There are different ways of defining bondage. So at this moment I do. So we get caught in a whirlpool as though. One may be a great swimmer also, but then once sucked into a whirlpool or quicksand, it's not easy to come out by ourselves. And even seeing this karma giving us constant worry, constant tension, and constantly having to answer so many people, etc., etc., people think, I'll work up to one time. And after that, I'll say quits. I'll withdraw and dedicate myself completely to what? Vedanta. So this person makes a decision. At some point I'll quit. Only that point seems to be going further and further. This afternoon when I went to the ashram, I was talking to somebody who is also staying in a senior citizen home. And I said, why don't you teach them? So she said, half the people can't hear. So how can I teach them? So I said, no, at least some people, they don't seem to be interested. I said, at least start off with some shlokas. So sometimes I used to do this, some places it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So I used to teach them Shiva Parada Kshamapana Stotram, which sort of tells persons, I've been wasting my life, okay, without thinking of you, oh Shiva, so forgive me. I said, at least make them come, give them an inclination for Vedanta. She said, they are telling me you are creating a guilt complex in us which we didn't have previously. So what do we do? Anyway, so that is. So this nature of karma is like a chakra vyuha. With or without knowledge, like Abhimanyu, we enter into it, but we don't know how to come out of it. Our Vanaprastha ashrama was meant to learn how to slowly withdraw from it. But the whole question is, the person doesn't have any concept of how our ashramas are structured. Then what happens is, it becomes that person who has never thought of what will I do after retirement and never planned for retirement, what exactly retirement is meant for, actually becomes a problem for himself and for the family also. So previously things which he never bothered about, now he keeps on nagging the people around all the time. So this becomes a problem if we don't know what is the structure of it. So the whole thing is our Vanaprastha ashram, etc. is supposed to help us to withdraw. So we have to know, we have to plan what to do. Because you can't quit one side without taking up something. So that very shloka says, okay, two other facts about karma. It says one fact is, okay, this phalam of any karma is ashashvatam. It is anitya. So because your karma is qualitatively and quantitatively limited. You work for a month, you earn that much pay. So the quantity of work that you have put in, according to that you earn money. And again quality also depends, because in an office there are gradations of posts depending upon the quality, and according to that also your earning differs. Whatever you earn, that earning is in keeping with the quality and quantity of work. Quality and quantity of work is limited. Therefore what you earn out of it also will be limited. And therefore that also will exhaust. So you have to do something again to do. So this phalam is ashashvatam, means anityam. And Shastra itself tells us, the Shastra which talks about adrishta punya and adrishta papa, etc., tells you even if you do great Vedic karmas and accumulate a lot of punya in your account, still is it the result of karma? Yes. If that is so, please use your logical mind. Whatever karma you do in this life, that gives you only a certain amount. So if your karma is limited by time, your phala also will be limited by time. Is punya and things gained through punya, is it also karma phala? Yes. That means it will also be limited. Yata iha karmachito lokaha kshiyate, tata amutra punyachito lokaha api kshiyate. Just as any karma phala that you get in this world, it always will last only for a time and then go. Same thing, punya also that you get, that will also last only, whatever you exchange your punya for, that also will last only for a while. And afterwards you would have seen kshine punye matyalokam vishanti. The person has exhausted the punya which took him to Swargaloka. When that is over, unceremoniously he is thrown out of Swarga. At least in this loka, you have got some sort of a countdown. Some grey hairs start appearing, countdown has started. I mean, countdown starts even from the time we are born. Jatasya dhruva mrityu. But still, it reminds us of the countdown. So some hair starts falling, grey hair has come, wrinkles have come, that means countdown has come. So this is the fact. And at least here, we get a warning. There is no warning also. That's what they say. And then unceremoniously, come on, your punya is over, so you have to go next. And Matyalokam Vishanti, here only you can make up punyam. And not only that, okay, at least karma is giving me phalam. Some sukha phalam it is giving me. Oh, incidentally, the corollary of the fact that karma phala is anitya is one other saving grace. Because if punyam is anityam, papam also is anityam. So luckily for us, there is nothing called permanent hell. We never get damned in our Sanatana Dharma to permanent hell. Okay? So that's a saving grace we must remember. All other religions talk about permanent hell. Okay? We don't have that. There also kshine pape matyalokam vishanti. Okay. So you suffer for whatever it is. Like in the local government, for whatever mistake you have done, you are imprisoned for a while and then out you are released. And the length of your imprisonment is going to be in keeping with whatever your wrong thing that we have done. So also, here this phalam is ashashvatam. So one can say, okay, never mind, let it be anitya. I at least can enjoy up to that. So for the time being I can enjoy that phala. Then Ramana says there, it is not only phalam ashashvatam, gati nirodhakam. So it is a great obstacle to moksha. The word gati there is used for moksha. Then a doubt should arise in our mind. How can you call moksha a gati? Because gati means travel. So I know there can be travel to Swargaloka, there can be travel to Brahmaloka, there can be travel to another body, there can be travel to Naraka, etc. How can you call moksha, which involves knowledge of oneself, as a gati? Okay. Even the Gita talks about it as a gati because our mind is tuned always to gaining something. Okay. Gati can also mean gaining something. So our mind is always tuned to that. Therefore, it also paints moksha as a gati, but then it tells you, yadgatvana nivartante tadhama paramam mama. So this gati is a peculiar gati. So, gaining which, you never lose it. Hey, if you gain something, you will definitely lose it. Then how can you say gaining something, you never lose it? Okay. Therefore, it is a travelless travel, it is a gainless gain, which you only understand that I don't have to gain it at all because it is already with me. Like Puja Swamiji used to say that you have to travel to various places. What do you do to travel to space? I mean, I'm not talking about the concept of space that they have space travel. Just take the meaning of space. I'm already in space. So understanding I'm already in space, therefore I don't have to travel, is what is traveling to space, if at all. Okay. Therefore, this is just to show it as Purushartha. So the word Gati is used, and for gaining the Purushartha of moksha, this karma becomes really an obstacle. Now here, I have not done the first shloka, so I will come back to some words in the first shloka. But here, now this much we understand from this particular shloka, which says karma, word flows in from the first shloka. So it is karma is kritimahodadau patana karanam, and karma pala is ashashvatam, and karma is gati nirodhakam. It's an obstacle to moksha. It keeps one perpetually in samsara. It cannot give you moksha. And on the other hand, not only it cannot give you moksha, it also is an obstacle for moksha. Then is karma useless? Can I drop it? If karma is not going to make me gain moksha, can I drop it? Again, a doubt arises. Why do the Vedas talk so much? This is a big karma kanda. Talks about so many karmas, etc. there. So then why do the Vedas talk about karma if karma is going to be useless for gaining moksha? And should we drop karma? Should we give up doing karma? Now two questions have arisen from this. One question is, why do Vedas talk so much about karma if karma cannot make me gain moksha? Now, one fact we have to remember about Veda as a pramana. Whether it be the Purva Bhaga of the Veda or the Uttara Bhaga of the Veda, it is a pramana which phalavat arthabodhaka pramana. Other pramanas may make me know something which may not necessarily be useful for me. But Veda cannot make me know something which is useless. So, it has, whether we understand the use of it or not, it cannot tell me what is useless. And elsewhere Shankara says, Sahasra matrubhyaha api hitaishini Shuddhimata. So, when compared to a mother, Veda intends our hitam more than what thousands of mothers put together can intend. Therefore, Veda can never prescribe something that is useless. Like a mother cannot knowingly prescribe an evil course to her children. In the case of a mother, I have to use this particular word. I have to use this adverb. Knowingly cannot prescribe what is evil. But we say Shastra is given out by Ishvara Sarvajna. And therefore, since Shruti is come from a Sarvajna Ishvara, it can never tell me something that is evil. Okay. So, the answer is there on this accepted fact that Shruti is a Arthavat Phalavat Arthabodhaka Pramana. Okay. Again, karma is useful within samsara. It is useful for whatever result we want, within samsara, but it is not useful for making me gain the limitless. It cannot make me gain moksha. And again, Shastra itself tells us, and if we analyze that, we can understand it. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krate. Nahi deha brata shakyam tyaktum karma asheshatah. Karmani asheshatah. So, we have so many desires, so many tendencies in us that it is not easy to drop karma just like that. In fact, I used to say this. I mean, my mother and similarly people of their age, etc., who all the time keep working in the house for the sake of the family, sometimes feel they are not appreciated enough. Say, I'm not going to get up tomorrow morning, so I'm not going to do anything. So, all of you manage. And then that day, the next day only, she will wake up earlier than usual because there is always something there inside that nags you to get up. That's why so many times, even before the alarm rings, when something is nagging you inside, you get up even before the alarm rings because there's a pressure inside to do. So when there is so much of pressure inside for us to do and achieve so many things, it is not easy to be without doing anything. Same thing. So in the 3rd chapter also Bhagavan says, in the 18th chapter also he says, as long as you have got a body, okay, deha brata karmani tyaktum asheshatah na shakyam. It is not possible for us to. Okay. Now this becomes a big problem. Karma involves me in samsara. At the same time, this karma which involves me in samsara, I can't give up also. So in Tamil they say, munnala pona. So munnala pona naka idikirdu, pinnala pona odikirdu. So you can't go forward. There is something problem. Can't go backward. There is sometimes you get caught in a traffic jam. You can't go forward. You can't go backward, etc. So like this, there seems to be a problem. Okay. Now, true that nasti akrita kritena, Shastra says, moksha, which is called limitlessness, cannot be achieved through karma. I am not going into the details of karma, how karma cannot give moksha, I am not getting into that. But then this is karma cannot give me moksha, and moksha is only through jnana. And if I cannot give up karma and karma will be an obstacle to my moksha, what should I do? The Shastram itself tells us, okay, the same karma which you are not able to give up, now you just change your attitude. All that needs to be done is make that karma into a karma yoga. If you make that karma into a karma yoga, that same karma which actually seems to pull you down into the samsara sagara can help to help you to get released from the samsara sagara. So, how to now the question is, so the answer will be to convert karma into karma yoga. What is this converting karma into karma yoga? So doing the same karma that we are doing with a change in our attitude. So we change our attitude with reference to doing karma by understanding certain natures about karma, and also we change our attitude with reference to receiving the result from, result of the action. So a change in attitude with reference to our doing, a change in attitude with reference to receiving the result. Okay. Then this is what is going to help us to convert karma into karma yoga. And further, then what is the right attitude with reference to karma? What is the right attitude with reference to gaining the result? Okay. Then Ramana says here, it has been also told in the Gita, Ishwararpitam na ichchaya kritam chitta shodakam mukti sadakam. He gives you like sutras. Okay. At the same point, Bhagavan says in the 3rd chapter of the Gita, even though a lot is talked about in the 2nd chapter of the Gita, but this one important point comes first time only in the 3rd chapter. Yajñārtat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanah. In that place the word yajna means Ishvara. So any karma which is done without the attitude of offering to Ishvara will keep you in bondage. Putting it in a positive way, any karma which is done as an offering to Ishvara will help you to get released from bondage. So now, that means whatever action I do, I have to offer to Ishvara. And whatever result I get, I have to accept it as a prasada. Now first point we will just go into. So I have to offer my action to Ishvara. Now this is a problem. I can offer this fruit to a person who is in front. This is tangible. So I can offer. The person in front is tangible. So I can offer it to the other person. The other person receives it. Therefore I know I have offered it. Now the question is, action is not a tangible thing for me to offer on a plate. Ishvara is not there standing in front of me to receive it. How can I offer my action to Ishvara? Now that's a problem. That means I have to understand, okay? So I have to understand the nature of karma, and I have to understand Ishvara Swarupa. Both are essential for me to know how to offer my action to Ishvara. Again, lot of things to be said there, but just I will put a few things here. Okay. So, now whenever I want to offer something to somebody, two things are there. I would like to offer to that person something which I feel that person would like. So anybody, a guest comes to your house, you always like to give what they like. Not necessarily what you like, but at least you may think that the person may like it. So now one more level we have progressed. Okay. How can I know what Ishvara likes? So it is not like, traditionally we have been handed over like this. So Pillayar, Ganesha means he likes Modaka. Okay. So Krishna means he likes all these namkins, murku, shidai, all those things. And so Rama, I don't know, probably likes Panagam, something, etc. We have got all these things. For every festival we have got, whether they like it or not, we like it. So we do it. But at least, something is handed over traditionally. Now, but here we have to understand how to how to offer our action, which is again not tangible. So we have to go a little bit more into this thing. So we have to understand a certain aspect about Ishvara. Now, just I'll deviate a little from this shloka. Now, while talking about Karma Yoga, in the Gita, shloka is a famous shloka that is quoted. I am sure Jaykumarji would have gone in detail into that shloka about the misunderstandings that are there. Karmani eva adhikaraha te ma paleshu kadachana. In 2-3 shlokas that come there, Ishvara's name is not anywhere there. Actually, if you look at the second chapter. Though all of us, when we teach those shlokas, we bring in Ishvara. But really speaking, when you look at the Moolam of Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara's name is not there anywhere in that place. Anyway, we will just look into it. So it just, okay, Karmani eva adhikaraha te ma paleshu kadachana. So, the commonest interpretation is perform action without expecting result. Even if you analyze that grammar, there is nothing, just literal translation, not grammar. So even if you keep a dictionary by the side and try to look at it, we cannot really get this meaning. Karmani eva adhikarate mahapaleshkana. So perform action without expecting result. Puja Swamiji always used to say, and when that fellow tells you something, does he expect you to listen or not? So he is not talking to a wall, he is talking to you and he is expecting you to understand. And we have a very famous statement, Prayojanam anuddishya mandopi na pravartate. Even the most foolish person never undertakes an action without keeping some prayojanam, some expectation in the mind. Without having an end or a result in mind, you can't decide, plan or choose any action. What action will you do? Because there are hundreds of actions. Each action is meant for something. So unless you have an end in view, how can you ever do any action? Okay? So, Krishna, when he says that, if he means that, he is expecting Arjuna to be listening to what he says. So that cannot be proper. So some people say, don't think about the past or future, just act. I say, no intelligent action can be done without learning from your past actions. No intelligent action can be done without any futuristic projections. We see enough havoc in the world when people don't, already ecology we are saying it is suffering because nobody has got any projections into the future. So, it will not be a proper, again meaning there is no word there to talk about past or future, etc. Then the next thing is taken, yogaha karmasu kaushalam. And then they say skill in action is karma yoga. Puja Swamiji will say, I said today there is more skill in people who do adharmic activities than people who are following dharmic activities. How? See, ordinary people don't have plan A, plan B, plan C. Criminal minds have got plan A, plan B, plan C, etc. If this goes wrong, next one, etc. Everything so perfectly it is planned. So that is skill. A pickpocketer has a skill. Somebody who knows how to cut off the hair of a long-haired person in the bus without the person knowing, or cut away the jari pallu that person is skilled. So how can you say that skill in action is yoga? You can't call that karma yoga. Okay. And a karma yogi need not have all skills. Even may not even have enough skill in the actions he does. So, in the Gita we have, I forget exactly the word. There's a thing that comes where even if you do your duty, even if it is not the best, it is better than doing paradharma, in the best way. So that is not it. Pardon?
So there will be a Nidhanam Chaya.
No. There is another one. The same thing. I usually have a. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushtita. That is the shloka that I had in mind. So, it says even if you don't have the skill, if it is your duty, you do it to the best of your ability. The best of your ability in that Swadharma may be less than the ability for you to do Paradharma, but still don't do it. Bhagavan says here. So the question is, okay. So now let us look at for assistance from the Shastra itself as to how to interpret this Karmani eva adhikaraha mapaleshu kadachana. And then afterwards it says yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Another thing about karma yoga it says and samatvam yoga uchyate. So Bhagavan makes it very clear that with reference to action, you have a choice. So, and you have some control over the action. So you can choose what action you want to do. You have some control over the action. I am using the word some control. You don't have total control, but still you have some control. You can plan the action and do. But do you have the same control in predicting, exactly what the result will be? You always have a result in mind when you start the action. But can you be so sure that the result that you expected through this karma is always that is going to be the result? Will it always be there? Not necessarily. Because in so many unknown factors come into the picture in deciding any result. Because even when you do an action, you are not, when you are saying an action, it is not just like taking this box and putting it here. Any action has got so many subdivisions. That's why sometimes the word undertaking is used. You undertake to achieve something. And so many actions. All of you, if you are in management, you split everything into smaller things. So many actions within that subheading, so many things are there. And you need so many external resources, you need so many other people to come and help you, etc. So it is not just based on your part of the action alone, so many other factors are essential. To a certain extent, you can try to think in anticipation what all can go wrong. So for example, electricity may go. So you want to keep a UPS. Alright, then that also may go. So you want to keep you want to keep a diesel generator. Then if that also goes wrong, what will you do? How many things you can take care of? To a certain extent, you can sort of anticipate certain things which can go wrong. But you cannot anticipate everything that goes wrong. And you are dependent on somebody to come and help you. Can you, the person who told you that the person is going to help you had some calamity in the house and the person just is not able to come. So how many factors do we know? We can at the most take care of our own action, but so many other factors come in to get the result for me. When that is so, how can I expect that the result is going to be in keeping with what exactly I expect? So it will not be in keeping always with what I expect. You can say sometimes it goes along with it. Sometimes it is far less than what we project and what we think that we would get. Sometimes it may be the opposite. So these four possibilities only are there. Sometimes it can be just the opposite. Sometimes it is far less or doesn't get you what you want, or sometimes it is much more than you expected. That means there are a lot of factors that come into the picture, and one other thing now comes into the picture. This is where we have to bring in God. So, if I cannot control the result of my action, who controls it? Before that, we have to ask a question. There is one law, even in the world itself, there is a law that this karma will fetch this result. Because there is a karana-karya sambandha between this and that, that is why you are undertaking this action in order to get that result. If there is no karana-karya sambandha, if there is no sambandha, this is means and that is the end, you will not do this action. You can do any action to get any result. Finally, that means no action, no result. So, we always plan. If I want this result, this is the action that I have to take. That means there is a karana-karya sambandha that is there. That's a law. Okay. And not only here, so there is also, not only this one, the fact that you are able to, with all your knowledge, you are able to connect that this will be the means for you to get this end, which itself is a law that you are able to figure out, because the law exists. And not only that, the Shastra also talks about there is a karma pala, adrishta connection also. This is a drishta connection that we see in this life. Okay, like if I want to eat something, I have to open my mouth, I have to pick up the food with the hand, I have to put it in, I have to swallow, all these steps, etc., that I know, etc. And then naturally, when I put the food down, the food moves downward. There is a law which makes the food move downward. Okay, that I can grasp something in my hand, take it up to my mouth, put it in, open my mouth, put it in, then close my mouth and swallow. All those things, there are laws involved in it. I only figure out the laws. I did not create the laws. There are certain things which, the way Puja Swamiji thinks is an amazing way of thinking. So, now just look at your hand. I still remember on the stage when he does this action. Now, most of our hands are created in such a way, you bend it at the elbow, your fingers come to your mouth. If this joint was here or here, if it was above the usual place of elbow, your hand will go there. If it was below the place where the elbow is, your hand will go here. What a law, what a biophysical law that is there. We place in such a way that it goes exactly to your mouth. I did not create the law. And that I can use this thumb and bring fingers together, hold something and then take it to my mouth. That I can open my mouth in such a way with all the muscles that are involved here. And when I put it into my mouth, now, very interesting. First, the pipe here is my windpipe. Okay? So as it goes down the tongue, it should go into the windpipe. It doesn't go into the windpipe, it goes to the foot pipe. And as I swallow, there is one cover that comes and covers that windpipe, and it goes right into my esophagus, into my foot pipe. That law I did not create. So in and through every small action that I am doing here for a result, there are so many laws that are involved. The more science we study, the more we will appreciate the laws. The more we appreciate the laws, the more we should appreciate the lawmaker. That's why it always surprises me how scientists will not accept God. So anyway, that's another question. I don't want to enter into it. So even in things that we see in this world, every small thing has got a karana karya sambandha, which we are able to figure out. That God has given me the intelligence. That intelligence, that brain I did not create. That is God given. And with that I am able to figure out, and with that I am able to do. Have you ever thought what a wonder it is that a newborn baby is put to the breast of the mother and immediately it learns to suck and then sucks that milk? Now imagine if you had to teach that child, train it for a week how to suck from that breast. And by the time you can finish teaching, the baby will not be there anymore. You already died of hunger. Imagine a baby that was swimming in the amniotic fluid can come out and know how to gasp a breath and start taking breath. We never taught it any pranayama. So the whole thing, is a wonder. The more we think, there's so many laws that are there and the intelligent. Again, I can go on and on about God, etc. So for you to plan any karma to get a result, there are so many laws that are involved. Like that, even adrishta, we may not understand the connection. How my doing a karma in this janma will take me in another body to Swarga, I don't understand the connection. But I have Shraddha in the Veda, which has come from Ishvara, that this connection is there. So this karma pala, this adrishta karma pala, which is there in my account, always that also comes and influences your present action. So the result of my present action, now I can go even in the present action, how many things comes and involves, that's a big topic. But I'm just saying that I can plan an action and do something, but when the result comes, my previous karma pala, the karma pala of all other people, so many factors come into the picture to decide what that pala is. Okay. See, that is why this morning when I got to the ashram, I had to give a small talk. So, the other Swamis had talked something, so I built up upon it. Now, we offer a prayer to Ishvara. Okay, by the way, prayer is also an action which has got a result. Okay, but then Bhagavan, I have offered a prayer, and I expect Bhagavan should answer my prayer because I have prayed fervently for something. Okay. Now the question is, when Bhagavan gives me something, then I feel what he did not give me what I wanted. And if it happens a few times, then we say that, so Bhagavan is not correct. Because he didn't give me what I wanted. So when I ask something and intensely pray for it, he should give me what I want. And if he doesn't answer my prayer, that means he is making a mistake. We don't understand a few things that are involved. What I pray for, okay, really may not be good for me. I may not even know that. Bhagavan knows. What I think is going to be good for me, at present, that's what I think. But ultimately, it may not be good for me, number one. Bhagavan knows. Number two is, my previous actions also are there, which can give either a push or be an obstacle in making me get what I want. And another factor is, I pray for something. Others are praying for just the opposite. If Bhagavan has to answer the prayers of everybody, one is praying for something, the other person is praying for just the opposite. So what should Bhagavan do? Bhagavan has to keep the whole picture in mind. That's why he is Sarvajna. Okay? And then he has to give the result in keeping with what each one deserves or what is the ultimate good for everybody. And the ultimate good for everybody sometimes can also be immediate bad. Okay? So, immediately something is affecting a lot of people also, still it may be for the ultimate good, we don't know. It may create in people an awakening. It may make people think of God. So, God knows, that's why I say he is a master computer. The master computer never makes a mistake. Never fails to deduct whatever karmapala has been given, never fails to add whatever karmapala that you have earned, and never fails to give exactly what you deserve. When that is so, when so many other factors, the prayers of others, what the others deserve, what my previous karmapala has been, what my present action has been, what is my ultimate good, all those things are kept in mind, result may not be exactly in keeping with what I planned. Therefore, if karmaniyeva adhikarate mahapaleshu kadachana, I will try to, in another 5 minutes or so, I'll try to cut down this thing. So then, if I have no control over the result, who has got control over the results? Then we have to say Bhagavan has got control over the results. Then is Bhagavan controlling the result like a dictator? With certain fancies, he likes somebody, he'll give nice goody things. If he doesn't like people, he will put them always and perpetually in some difficulty. No. He has already, he is called karma, he is the lawmaker and the very law. As the upadana karanam, as the material cause, he is the very law. As the nimitta karanam, he is a lawmaker. Okay? So there is this law that governs the whole thing. Number one. Number two, he is called karmadhyaksha because he presides over these laws and sees that the laws take place as they should. Then only you can call it a law. It takes place as it should. And if in any law there's something else comes and obstructs it, there's another law which makes it go the other way. And that is also governed by Ishvara. And according to that, he's a karma pala data. So we give him the blueprint for him to give us the pala. So he is not a moody, whimsical uncle. So he gives pala in keeping with what we exactly deserve. Therefore, since you have no control over the results of the actions, don't consider yourself as a karma pala hetu. If you consider yourself as a karma pala hetu, you are going to judge yourself as a failure, as a success. And if you consider yourself as a success for too long a time, pride gets into your head and lot of things will happen. Like we say, pride goes before a fall. If you think you are a failure, there also it's a problem. So we don't judge ourselves based on one action. So don't take yourself as a karma pala hetu. Because the ultimate hetu is Ishvara. Okay. Then the next thing is, so if I can only do action, I can't control what phala I can get, why should I do any action? So if I can't be sure of my result, why should I do any action? Bhagavan says, Mate sangaha astu akarmani. So don't take to inaction. Because sometimes, it is nice to say, as if I don't do anything, I will neither be judged as a success nor judged as a failure. So it's better, a lot of people, we keep away from many things. Because we don't want to be judged as a failure. Because we have fear more of being judged as a failure. So, we learn only from failures. Okay? As again this Puja Swamiji will say, people say experience is the best teacher. So, Puja Swamiji will say experience is dumb. It doesn't teach you anything unless you choose to learn from it. So, if we choose to learn from our experience, when we fail, then we are better informed. You can see it in anything. You try learning car driving. The more mistakes you do, the more confident you become of driving, because you know now what are all the problems that can occur. The more you handle the computer and it suddenly crashes, it suddenly hangs, it does all sorts of things. Now you know how to deal with it. If it behaved wonderfully, then you won't know how to handle any situation. So sometimes things have to go wrong, then only you are better for it. So we never know. So all the time we have to see something has gone wrong. It's a teaching experience. It's an experience for me to learn. It's something to teach. So I get this attitude that so I have to cut short. If you have questions, maybe if I have to explain, I'll say. So a few things we learn. The knowledge is given to me. The faculties of knowledge is given to me. Faculty of action is given to me. Okay. Then the situation is given to me. So all that is given by Ishvara. Even in the action, even though ultimately I choose the action, all things are all given to me. And accordingly I plan an action and do it. Again, what is given to me also is given to me in keeping with what I deserve. What is best for me, what I deserve. That it is best for me, I may not be able to understand immediately, but one thing is clear, what I deserve, I get. So God's judgment never goes wrong. That's why this morning again I made a point which Puja Swamiji puts it very nicely, which I never tire of telling my students. Understand, when I don't get the results of what I wanted and worked hard for it, it doesn't mean God made a mistake and did not give me what I deserved. That is why the moment I say God is correct and He gave me the result I wanted, the other side of the coin is God made a mistake and didn't give me what I deserved. Which means God is also subject to committing faults. So He can be faulty. So Puja Swamiji will say, you don't say God is infallible. And then that infallibility, you interpret according to your expectation. God is infallible, every time He gives me what I want. What I think I deserve. He says, put it the other way around. What is infallible is God. What can never go wrong, where there will never be any mistakes, in the Sarvajñatvam of Ishvara, where no mistake can be done, that infallibility is Ishvara Tattva. The more I understand it, the more, so everything is given to me, opportunity is given to me, skills are given to me, knowledge is given to me, I understand, and with this action, when I appreciate all these things, then I can, and not only that, I understand also the code of dharma and adharma is given by Ishvara, then I can make my action an offering to Ishvara by all this appreciation. Because whenever we want to please somebody, see, two things, we like to give them what they like, and we like, if we think by what they expect of us, if we act in that way, we think we please the other person. So God has given us a code of conduct of dharma and adharma. So if I follow that dharma and adharma, then it is as if pleasing God. Not that God wants us to please Him, because He is not lacking in Ananda, but still it is as if pleasing Him. That's why you say Parameshwara Prityartham. God doesn't want us to keep Him, amused and make Him happy, because He is limitless Ananda Swarupa. But still it is. This is what God expects of me, and when I do it, it is as if I am pleasing them. So in keeping with Dharma and doing whatever I have to do, understanding all the factors that come into my Dharma, in my action, are all God-given. All the laws are God-given. I make my action into an offering unto Lord. By understanding that whatever comes as a result, now my present action has gone to the altar of Ishvara. It is put together with other factors and then comes back to me. Like, when do you call something a prasada? A fruit in your hand, you don't call it as a prasada. Only when it has gone to the feet of the Lord and then it has come back to you, you call it prasada. Now one more level, we'll just go and then stop there. So supposing, sometimes what happens, there's a crowd. Like today, lot of people take for Archana. There are different baskets and different sizes of coconuts and different things, etc. And then you give it there, the person is so busy, he breaks the coconut, etc. and then gives it to you. So the question is, only thing the basket has to come to you, so it's okay, or sometimes you have to give the basket back to the person from whom you got it. But I say, you are not going to judge that, okay, I gave a big coconut, only small coconut has come to me. So whatever comes to me from Ishvara, okay, the only difference is it went to there at the feet of Ishvara and came back to me, then it's a prasada. Same way my action goes, I offer it by appreciating all these laws and then offer it with the understanding that Ishvara will give me exactly what I deserve. Then it has gone to Ishvara and come back to me. It is a prasada. When it comes, something comes as a prasada, okay, in the temple, as again, there is a beautiful example Puja Swamiji gives. So whether you get Chakra Pongal, whether you get sweet Pongal, whether you get the other Pongal, or sometimes everything is over by the time you come, you only get Tirtham, or you just get a Tulasi Dala, it is prasada. I don't react. Okay? So why the other person got Chakra Pongal? I didn't get. No. Whatever has come from Ishvara is prasada. In fact, the very word prasada means, prasada is what makes your mind prasanna. What is supposed to make your mind calm? Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani rasyopajayate. Prasanna cheta saukyasu buddhi paryavatitta. So that prasanna manas comes when we learn to accept things as prasada. So everything is a prasada. So we learn. But it's not easy, because it is not just I offer my actions to Ishvara, I receive as prasada. No. In every action. So the whole day, suddenly I'll remember 2 actions and say I am offering it to Ishvara. And suddenly for 2 actions, results I may say I accept it as a prasada. More often I react, reject, etc. So when I react and reject, that means I am not taking it as a prasada. When I learn to accept it, that acceptance, that offering and acceptance involves a lot of understanding about Ishvara in every aspect of our life. And the more we understand Ishvara, the more, the more, the nicer our life becomes. And that very fact that Ishvara runs the show, not me, is a great shock absorber, which really makes my life, I do whatever is to be done, put all the bharam at the feet of the Lord, and with an understanding, He runs the show. So with this, I'll stop here. I've gone nearly 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm sorry, it's a topic I have not still completed, but at the same time I could not lessen it a little. So now, okay. Thank you for the patient listening.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. Thank you very much.